Hello, everyone. It was a glorious day today. I got to go outside and fly for the first time in weeks. I'm sure many of you did as well, as we had kind of a warming trend in the U.S. here a little bit. 67 degrees here. It was a bit windy, not appropriate for all micros, but got an opportunity to take the AuroraRC Demon out. Of course, this used to come with prop guards or whoop protection, whatever you want to call this. So obviously I cut that off, and you can see the middle pieces where the motors go, that's missing. And that is actually underneath the motors here. You've got to have that. But I wanted to revisit this one because with this, it didn't fly great. There was a lot of movement. You know, it's supposed to be kind of a scene whoop, but the footage just wasn't very good. So I thought, well, let's take it apart and see what we can make of this. And it does quite well as a short story. I'm not going to keep you here long. If you're interested in this quad in its original form, I've got a full review down in the video description. You're welcome to click that and watch that. But the short story is, you know, it's a DJI quad, so you pay a pretty good price. And the footage just wasn't very stable. And of course, with all this prop protection, it just didn't fly very well. But it flies a whole lot better now, so let's take a look. Oh, before we go, I did fly it on this G&B 520 milliamp 4S battery. You can probably see that tree right dead center in front of us. It's waving in the wind. The official measurement for wind was 12 miles an hour, but we had gusts well above that. I'm going to take off and do more aggressive flying. I'm always, that's kind of where I have the most enjoyment, although I do accept the challenge of being slower and smoother. I do think that is, I don't want to say valid because that sounds negative. That is another form of flight that people really like, and I try to do it from time to time. This is my third flight of this on this particular day. I did not work on the tune. Additionally, I did work on the tune back when I did the original review a little bit. Not a heavy tune, but you're going to see me fly this too long as well. So if you're looking at the flight time, remember it was beeping. I'm going to go out front, and I'm going to see two of our kids, two girls, and it's beeping the whole time right in front of them. I still see a little bit of movement in the video footage. Not necessarily prop wash, you know, we saw that just now, but I see a little bit of movement in the video footage. Those little jitters that we oftentimes are looking for to see how stable it is, but this is far better than it was. But still, it kind of defeats the purpose. Why would you buy a 2-inch quad with that comes with this hoop protection just to cut it off? I mean, I'm not saying you shouldn't if that's what you like and you want to do. It just kind of defeats the purpose. I would say for most DJI quads, you need to have probably a 2.5-inch prop at the minimum. This flies surprisingly well, but you've got to run it on 4S just so you have that motor prop authority with the weight that you're flying. I think a 2.5-inch prop or even larger is going to be better. It's just going to offset that additional weight. So I do kind of a few things. One thing I didn't do, which I just didn't have the confidence with, if I had another couple of days of nice weather outside flight time, I might have tried it, but it looks like it's going to cool back off tomorrow, is some sort of power loop over the house. I don't know if it's quite got the punch to how I normally approach it, but I could have done a more gradual, higher, less fast power loop over the house. That's one of the things you won't see in this video that maybe you've seen in others. It does fly heavy. You can definitely feel it on the sticks. But again, you know, that's not a surprise. You've got the DJI system in there that pumps up your weight at least 10 grams over what would be an analog version, and it's only got a 2-inch prop. So not a lot there. It is running a 1204 motor from RC Power, and I did find that the flight time on it was pretty dang good, so I was not disappointed in the flight time in this particular flight. And I don't recall now in the moment what our flight time was when I was doing the slower sort of flight, or even when I had the original prop guards on. Here we are at the front of the house. You're going to see in the blue jacket there sitting on the brick footing. That is our 13-year-old. I'm pretty certain the beeper is going off by this point. She can't be bothered to look up from her book. Everybody wanted to get out and get some sun. This is our youngest. She just turned 11. She is just sitting in the back of Mom's car reading a book. She had been out. You might have noticed on the driveway there was a chalk drawing. I believe it was some form of a rainbow. She had been out doing that and riding her bike. And everybody got outside to get some vitamin D on their skin. It felt good, regenerating almost. You know, we've been stuck inside for 2+ weeks, not just because of the pandemic, but because of really bad weather as well. That's the end of our flight. You can hear the beep, 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 beep. And the beeping just keeps going. So there it is. Just kind of a little intro to getting back into flying. I know that I've missed flying outside, even though I fly inside. It's not something that I would necessarily show you. We have some interesting things coming up on the channel. We've got a new gnarly quad. Look at how small it is. Look at how small it is. How do I show this? Well, let's just take a look at it, what we just looked at, the Demon. And now that I look at this, I'm forgetting the name. Just a second, let me get the name. Oh yeah, Subatomic. That's the name of it. And this was one that it's a shop tester that Gnarly had built up. I think some people are getting to know that this old guy isn't great at getting builds turned over very quick. I do have a couple of builds I'm working on that I've mentioned. I've got another one that's kind of in pieces here yet. There's something about this one I wanted to show you before we actually get to even flying a little bit. Camera review. Oh, the Mosquito from Newbie Drone. It's essentially just a frame where you take Mobula 6 or Mobula 6-like components and you put it on this little frame. I personally think the carbon fiber is about a 0.5 millimeter too thick. I think we could shave off a little bit of weight. But this is good fun, but today was not a day to be flying this around outside. Far too much wind. And then I've got another video coming up that's going to be, I don't know how I'm going to approach it yet, but I'm flying very old hardware and very old Betaflight. And the point of that is basically kind of just showing people something I've been trying to advocate for, is to stop flashing Betaflight on quads that come pre-tuned. Anyways, that's what we got coming up. Little reintro to going outside and flying. I already said that once. If you have any comments, questions, suggestions, or otherwise, please let me know in the section down below. I appreciate your time. Thanks for watching.